Definitely not my best Columbo work, but mystery solved. Let's head back and get chewed out by a kindly Cheng. Just murdered half the Wampoa garden, and we got a ghoul out of the deal. The MTR rockets noiselessly towards Hioi along the edge of Kowloon Bay. The black water glitters in the night with the light of 1,000 reflected storefronts. Gai Chu stares sightlessly out the window, one hand pressed to the glass. The Wampoan elders are dead. They forced your hand and paid the price for it. Their story was a cleverly crafted lie meant to put the ghoul to death for their greed. But was the trade you made worth it? The uncertainty of that choice is as clouded as the sky above you. Definitely going to come back to bite us in the ass. But we've got an adept now. Oh, and we got to use some of that karma to unlock the healing spell for me. 8. Claim payment for your runs at the mission computer. I guess we could just never talk to kindly Cheng. That might do it. Steven Dynamite? A disheveled man in filthy rags teeters on the sidewalk, wobbling on unsteady legs. His bloodshot eyes dart about desperately, and the acrid, sweet odor that wafts out of him breezes unpleasantly in your nostrils. You okay, man? You have to help me. His teeth grind and his grip tightens. His hand feels like a vice. I need your help. Say the magic word. The man yanks you closer. Your eyes are watering from his pungent proximity. Still, you notice that his tattered clothing bears designer logos. Please, take handsomely a message for me. Never heard of him. Now, who are you and why are you touching me? I'm Steven Dynamite. He nods eagerly, desperation in his eyes. A sluggish tongue wipes itself over the cracked skin of his lips. Look, you've got to help me. I've been poisoned. That crap that Lee sold me put me bad things in my head. Whenever I close my eyes, I see dark, narrow tunnel, so many hands grabbing, razor-sharp teeth gnawing in the children. Bad things in your head? Are you talking about hallucinations? The junkie stares into space. A faint trickle of saliva makes its way down his chin. No, not exactly. More like nightmares. They feel very real. Teeth biting, faces I knew. Everyone's having nightmares, you baby. No, this isn't that. I'm telling you, I was poisoned. I know it. You'll help me, won't you? Alright, I'll fucking help you. Then tell Lee what he's done to me, that I need relief. Tell him what I want. What do you want? I want my money back. Oh, wow. Poison nightmares, money back. Got it. Who the fuck is Lee? Oh, oh, fucking, did you level up? You totally did. Holy shit, he gains a ghoul ability. Gaichu gains a claw ability. Rip does an additional 2 damage and 2 bleeding for 2 rounds. What's this? Gaichu gains a defensive ability that adds +2 armor and +1 dodge. Costs 1 AP. Lasts for 5 turns, I guess? An additional 2 damage and 2 bleeding. His armor goes down when he levels? What? Give him Red Samurai, because that's what he is. He's a Red Samurai. Are you sure? I confirmed. A sailor? Hello? Is this mess here before? 3 people, possibly locals, are busily hunched over, avidly discussing something beneath their breath. From the looks of them, they appear to be sailors, rough-hewn clothes stained by salt, leathery skin, and an acute awareness of being on land. You watch their feet shuffle awkwardly on the docks. Their whispers are just within earshot. Now I asked Crafty, and she said the same. Them dreams is bad. Think we'll lose them at sea? We're supposed to set out soon to make that delivery. What if they follow us? You see the man shudder. I don't think so. Crafty said these things is just affecting right here for now. The first sailor points to the ground. As soon as we sail, dreams will stop. Hey! The third sailor sees you and taps her friends on the arms. They shoot upright. One examines his fingernails, another coughs loudly and begins to hum, and the last pretends she didn't see you. But when they sense your continued stare, the third speaks up. What are you looking at, Landy? There was a boat here with a merchant selling goods not too long ago. He leave? Merchant, he says. That crook didn't so much as leave as he was chased off by Conley. No sales permit. Not a big loss. Still, the local shops have way better stuff than that small-time hustler. Why don't you look around? You'll find the shop owners here more friendly towards you now that you've gotten the okay from Conley. Thanks for the tip. You talking about dreams? Seems anyone who comes by these parts is having them. As soon as they leave, the dreams stop. Ray Erie it is. Any heads up on what they're having? We don't know much ourselves. We've only just returned from our last delivery, but the dreams ambushed us fast enough. What about you, Crafty? The sailor turns to you. She runs the 5 phases. Smart girl. Might know a thing or two about this blight. You ask her and she may have something more to say. Alright, bye. There's my boat, but we've got some adventures over here. These guys want to talk again? Reliable Matthew. What is this? Reliable Matthew's trailer? The side of Matthew's trailer looks freshly scrubbed. It reeks of kerosene. Broad swaths of the flaking paint have been removed, revealing the brittle plastic siding discolored by years of acid rain. You can still see the faded black traces of erased graffiti. It reads, Job Stealer. Something thumps inside the trailer. You could easily appear in one of them. What the fuck is going on in here? Inside are dingy, cramped living quarters, cluttered with broken drones and unwashed dishes. What looks like a rumpled, motley colored shag carpet is heaped over about half the tiny space, obscuring most of the furniture. After a moment, the shag carpet moves. It rises about a foot and surges slowly towards the window. Then it stops, pulsing and fidgeting. It's hard to see it clearly through the built-up grime in the window. What the fuck is going on here? The carpet is actually plush-covered drones. Teddy bears, raccoons, little dolls. There must be 24 inside the caravan. All companionship models. They're all looking at you as if they realize you're not Matthew. They watch, fidgeting. Then, in one coordinated motion, they all lay down and go dormant again. Ugh. Reliable Matthew greets you with an expansive grin, sweeping his arms wide. Stubtoe Williams, beautiful. To what do I owe the unexpected pleasure? Why, you're not here for some robotics, are you? Well, shucks. He rolls his shoulders ostentatiously and sticks his cigarello casually between his teeth. His eyes have a strained, bloodshot look. Looks like someone vandalized your trailer. Ah, what, you mean the paint? That's just some neighborhood kids. Good kids having a lark. I nearly fell over laughing when I saw it this morning. Why would someone call you a job stealer? No idea. Drones are job makers. He wiggles his cigarette at you. I know what you're thinking, Stubtoe Williams. I think it myself. Drones take jobs. Well, medicine takes jobs from undertakers, and sewer drones take jobs from people who used to crawl through filth to feed their families. He holds his hand somberly over his heart and his voice deepens. When you see a drone messenger or maid, it's easy to think, that used to be a person. Could be, could be. But that person can do another job now, and they can have a drone themselves. Everyone's better off. Why? Matthew's voice rises. His smile wrinkles painfully around the edges as he carries on enthusiastically. The same people who call drone dealers job stealers often find themselves come to me for... Matthew suddenly shuts up. His smile gets even more waxy. Let's not get all wound up in this stuff. It's too cheery a day for running up in our heads. How do people in here feel about drones? How do people here feel about drones? Why, they love them. Just about every household that can afford drones has drones. Sure you don't want to try out this little UC2 tarantula? It's a great entry-level personal assistant. Reliable Matthew smiles wildly, but the edges of his mouth twitch uncomfortably. Drones free people to take skilled jobs. They make the economy more efficient, and drones give poor people services they couldn't ever afford otherwise. What exactly are the drones you sell used for? Just about everything. They're helpers to metahumans in all sorts of useful ways. Drones cook, clean, carry messages, lift heavy loads, tend to delicate tasks. Why, drones can even care for the infirm and provide companionship to children. Matthew taps his temp with his finger meaningfully. Think about it, beautiful. All the boring, dangerous, painful jobs that people used to do. The jobs that drones do now. He glances around at Hioi and at the walled city looming above. Despite his bright eyes and gleaming smile, his voice sounds almost thoughtful. Because of mechanization, we don't force workers to breathe as many chemicals in the refineries. We don't make teenage girls pick silk cocoons out of boiling water. Not anymore. Drones help us. He shakes off his passing air of seriousness, clamps his cigarette into his teeth, thrusts his hands in his pockets. They're really something else, ain't they? Mm-hmm. Wow, Stubtoe Williams, just smell that brisk spring air. He inhales deeply through his nose, drawing in the fetid reek of the polluted river and the sodden heat of monsoon season. The topic is fascinating, really fascinating, but I've got to get back to work. I noticed you have a lot of drones in your trailer. Drones in the trailer? Oh, I think I have a couple left in there. Probably ones I'm fixing. A couple? Must be at least a dozen. Matthew shrugs uncomfortably. Funny thing about drones, when you see a few, they always look like so many more. Weirdest thing. Strange little fellas. Let's not talk about maintenance. It's boring. I bet there's something else you need today. Goodbye, Matthew. Gin, what do you got for me? Said, what do you got for me? Why, if it isn't the young one from before. Can't you see we're busy? You never mind him. Is there something else you need? Oh, nope. You guys don't want to talk anymore. Okay. Hello, Crafty. Say, you have any vivid dreams lately? As a matter of fact, I have, Stubtoe Williams, but we all get the occasional vivid dream, nothing special there. Gesture to the books on the tabletop. Really? Then why are you reading up on them? She flicks her wrist dismissively. Sure, it's a little weird that we're having them, but these types of dreams are common in the walled city. Nothing to get all worked up, probably. I met someone the other day who said that too. Anyone who's familiar with the walled city would know that, but most people don't go out of their way to find out. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it. So I grew up with stories about the city, the recurrent creepy dreams being one of them. They're common? Common as the cold. My mother devoted her life to researching the walled city and the magical phenomena within it, so I grew up with... Wait, didn't we just read this? Mom sounds like an interesting person. Sure, she was interesting, but not praiseworthy. What else do you know about the walled city? Very little, just that my mother spent most of her time in there and she... well, it messed her up. Is there something specific you want to know about? Well, what can you tell me about the city? Where to begin? The walled city's always been a hellhole. It started a bad place. It's still a bad place. Crime's drawn to it like a magnet, and you can't enter the city without a security guard on each elbow. But not even that will guarantee you safe passage. No one famous or rich or memorable has ever come from the place, and the only thing it's known for around here is its shitty reputation. It's about the gist of it. Now, there's a whole library here that just so happens to be the foremost location for walled city texts. I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. I get the feeling that your relationship with your mother was unusual? You better believe it. She was obsessed with the walled city, put it before everyone in her life. Mom ate, slept, and breathed that city. Something fueling your obsession? Crafty shifts her glance back to a stack of books on a nearby table. Yeah, actually. Mom was convinced that something was wrong with that place, that it was cursed in some way, polluted with unnaturally bad ki. She'd visit the city under the protection of the Yellow Lotus and spend hours, sometimes days, studying it. Crafty tears her eyes away from the book and returns her gaze to you. Mother was consumed by her research. Did she ever find anything? She sure tried. Mom thought she could find a way to purify the place and to exorcise its demons. Her obsession with the walled city grew, and she devoted more and more of her life to breaking its curse. Wish I could say she fell off the radar, but really the rest of the world fell off hers. That must have been hard for you. It is what it is, and here I am. It sounds to me like you don't believe in your mother's research. You can see Crafty studying you. She exhales through her nose, and it seems as if she's considering something. I know we've just met, Stubtoe Williams, but you have a generous ear. I don't mind discussing my mother with you as long as we keep the details between us. Mother's research was stupid, just plain stupid. She wasn't stupid herself. No, Mom was very bright, but her obsession was downright unhealthy. Anyone could see that. The walled city is a toxic place, home to dark spirits and astral influence, but Mom believed in a singular curse at the heart of the place. What do you mean when you say toxic? My mother failed to change the walled city, and the time she spent inside there changed her. She grew sickly and became moody, irritable. She suffered from night terrors the rest of her life. That must have been hard. It wasn't just that. The breaking point for me was her ridiculous obsession. I refused to indulge her, and it drove a wedge between us. Neither of us was willing to relent. A small, bitter laugh escapes through her throat. And I guess we had that in common, stubborn till the end. So after Mom died, I turned my back on her work and left the walled city and its people to themselves. It's a toxic site beyond rehabilitation. I do my best to ignore it. At least I've tried. Now that these dreams, these nightmares are leaking out of the walled city, I wonder if I can still ignore it. We always have a choice. You're right, but not everyone's choices are weighted evenly, and I just don't think I can turn a blind eye to what's happening here. She loosely gestures to the bookshelves all over the shop. I have my mother's journals. I have the means to try and help. It's sure to dredge up bad memories, but if it'll help my friends, maybe it'll be worth it. I don't know. I guess I have a lot to think about. She crosses her arms and wraps her fingers against her skin. Anyway, thanks for lending me that ear of yours. Right, what do you got here? Ritual Shaman Garb. Do you have... Mage requires spellcasting 4. Requires spellcasting 2? This spell seems cool, though. Mind Wipe. Target ignores all enemies. Lasts 2 rounds. Dispel magic. Dispels any target's ongoing magical effect. Holy shit. It's going to be the same thing that always happens when I play a shaman. I'm like, man, this shaman's going to be so cool. What the fuck is this? Possession of this fetish grants a benefit of +1 willpower. What? Shamanic salve. A simple magically prepared salve that heals 4 base HP and a further HP per round for 3 rounds. Ooh. Some way cooler shaman shit now. Well, let's go get our money. Let's talk about dreams. Why do you think they're affecting people outside the walled city? It's definitely strange. Until now, I always thought the dreams were nonsense, that my mother just had night terrors because of her madness. She props her chin up with her right hand. But now it's really happening, and not just to me, to others around Hioi. Those same psychic forces that drove Mom insane are edging into our subconsciousness. Lately, I've been wondering if there might have been something to her ravings. Maybe. I've been skeptical for so long, it almost feels blasphemous to consider it. Maybe the walled city curse is real. I just don't know. Maybe you, of all the people here, you have the greatest advantage when it comes to investigating these dreams. That's true, but my mother's notes are scattered all over the shop. Most of her research is scrawled in the margins of the books that you see on the shelves in piles and stacks all over. The clues we need to figure this thing out could be in any of those volumes, and there are thousands of them. But with the dreams reach spreading, can you really afford to just let this knowledge sit here? Yeah, I know what I have to do. It's just, damn, look at them all. She tiredly looks down at the book she was reading earlier. Guess I won't be finishing this one anytime soon. Alright, Stubtoe Williams, I'm going to get started now. But it'll take time. The House of 5 Phases is jammed floor to ceiling with books, and any of them could hold valuable information. Check in once in a while, and I'll share my findings with you. Well, thank you. You're doing the right thing. I'll do what I can, too. Thank you, Crafty. Alright, let's go back to our boat and get fucking chewed out. What do you mean you killed all the elders, you idiot? I did the right thing. Inbox. About those dreams. Gaba's face winks on the screen. Her rats are perched precariously on her head, and she holds a laser pointer clutched between her thumb and forefinger. Oh, hey, Seattle. I hope that I didn't catch you at a bad time. She flicks the laser pointer and her rat's head swivel to the right to follow the motion. Why did I just say that? This is a recording. It doesn't matter if it's a bad time. Well, anyway, I was thinking about that talk we had, you know, the dream talk about the nightmares and stuff. Another flick of the pointer. The rats' heads turn left and their noses twitching. I've got a friend here in town. She runs the parlor of 5... Oh, fuck off. We just did that. No. Stupid message. Go away, Gobbit. Yeah, bye. Attending a party. From Kindly Cheng. Stubtoe Williams, I need you to come to the parlor. A friend and business partner of mine named Dr. Shen Yang has need of your services. Something about attending a fancy party in Repulse Bay. He was unwilling to give me the details. I think he wanted to size you up himself. Raymond Black's history. Duncan asked me to do some digging on my own in Raymond's history. I guess he doesn't trust Kindly Cheng to give him the full story. I can't say I blame him, since she'd hide things from us if it was in her best interest to do so. So I've been poking around various corners of the Matrix, trying to dig up what I can. Most sinners leave a data trail the size of an aircraft carrier in their wake. Working backward in time, Raymond starts out that way, but it slowly tapers away to nothingness. Sure, I can find some basic records in Seattle, power utilities, a couple of public discussion sites he signed up for, but the further back I get, the less I find. And the craziest part is, prior to 2032, I can't find anything at all. That shouldn't be possible. It's like Raymond didn't exist before then. I don't know. I'm going to keep digging, but it'll take me a while. I'll let you know when I get some news worth sharing. Opportunity? Preface bypassed. Yo, come see me if you have a chance. I have a trade opportunity maximum. So he just has an incredibly obnoxious signature. Jobs directory. Oh, claim payment for the Wampo Guard murders. You submit the job is finished and await the response. A few moments later, a message pops onto the screen. I asked you to solve the problem, and your method of solving it is to kill the people I was doing a favor for. I have half a mind to throw you in the goddamn bay. Still, the Wampoans are now more afraid of me than ever, and money started flowing again. So I pose that's something. I've attached your payment. The Wampoans made it explicitly clear that they wouldn't have paid at all, except to ensure that you never come back to the gardens. Next time, try not to fuck up the job so much. I may not be as forgiving. Well, the joke's on you, because I got my fucking wacky robot zombie samurai. What's the BBS up to? Police shootout in Victoria Harbor. Didn't we already read this? I know a lot of you are interested in that 50,000 Nuyen the HKPF is promising in connection with the terrorist cell they're hunting, so I've been digging around for some better information. I think I've got some stuff of value. Turns out they had a handler here in Hong Kong by the name of Raymond Black. The HKPF tried to take him into custody the day before, but were forced to kill him in a shootout. Looks like Black and the terrorists are members of the White Star group out of Henan. Isn't White Star all about restoring Imperial China? One of those terrorists they killed was obviously North American. Why would she be helping a pro-imperialist group? You got money. You could buy any kind of person you need. You're on Shadowlands, Ome. You should know that. So what do we know about Black and his band of thugs? Anything we can use to track him down? The data I've been able to dig up says the Black was from Henan and was distantly related to the royal family. He spent a couple of decades in Seattle making connections in the shadows in preparation for an attack on the Free Enterprise Zone. I've attached some dossiers on his remaining agents. You sift through a long stream of data detailing who you and Duncan are. While the general details about your name and life are correct, many of the small details are wildly inaccurate. You're listed as living in Laos for the past 4 years, while Duncan is noted as having spent most of his life in prison. You move on to pursue Gobbet and Isabel's ostensible biographies. The dossier lists Gobbet's real name as Yuchen Gui and her place of birth as Xian Shanxi. According to the contents, she's 23 years old and served with the Baihu corporate military until conviction for insubordination led to her dishonorable discharge. While you can't be certain Gobbet doesn't speak Mandarin, the idea of her being in the military, any military, is downright laughable. Isabel, in turn, is listed as Fatima Abukar. Apparently, Isabel was educated at an early age in terrorism and piracy by the revolutionaries of the Ethio-Malian territories and is wanted in connection with the bombing 2052 attack on the French embassy in Johannesburg. Given that you know Isabel grew up here in Hong Kong, this information appears to be as laughably inaccurate as your own dossier. Posy Bash. Alright folks, we're trying it again, this time under a super secret code name. There's no telling how long this will last, so let the bashing begin. Super secret code name, you just ran the words poetry slam through a thesaurus. Poetry, people, not complaints. A thief on the run, a silencer in the dark. The rat shaman lurks. Got one for the coyote shamans, too. An unbound trickster. This shaman fears no peril. Wily coyote. On a roll, Jivey. Here's another one, if Mad can stand it. Pulses of light glance off bright chrome. Translucent spheres encase my treasure. Mirrors and tubes and neon implode. Another day in the Matrix. Hey, I can do traditional. I happen to prefer the haiku because less typing. Gossamer tresses, infinity in your gaze. Very pointy ears. Extra points for using gossamer correctly in a sentence. I like elves. Jivebird is still the master of the haiku, in fact. Oh, graveyard creeper, ashen skin, spindly fingers. Claws freak me out. Alright, Shakespeare's, this is strike 2. This thread is getting locked, and you aren't doing this again, got me? This board is for deckers who want to talk shop. There are plenty of other forms that you can use for your stupid amateur poetry. I'd suggest that you go find one. No more posts in this thread. Top shelf sublet available immediately. Like the title says, good location, cheap rent, serious offers only, please. What do you mean by top shelf? Isn't it a fancy corp condo? How'd you manage that? No, man, it's literally the top shelf with a converted maintenance closet I live in. You're joking. No joke, it's cheap and the location's good. Right near the Temple Street Right Night Market. And it has super fast access just in case you need to go in and out of the Matrix quick. I'm not the sort to ask questions. There's just about enough space to stretch out your legs lying down, and there's a ceiling hook for your gear. What do you say? I don't know, I need a place, but still. A shelf in a shared closet? Screw that. I got a sweet pad to rent that you can have all to yourself. It's not Victoria Park Peak or anything, but it's a bargain. Where's it at? Kowloon Walled City. It's one of the new construction units on the outer edge. I'll throw in a second ceiling hook. Deal? Okay, message me and we'll work out the nitty-gritty. Seriously, the Walled City isn't that bad. My apartment is huge and it even has windows. I'll beat Harbor Rat's rent. In fact, just tell me what you want to pay. Hello? Looking for Decker? Looking for experienced Decker for a discreet milk run on a supply house for purveyors of recreational substances. Potential for longer-term arrangement. We're a team that's been together for years, running your basic heist and the occasional transport gig. We've got a reliable fixer and a long list of happy clients. Requirement, you must have a good sense of humor. Hey, are you willing to give a newbie a shot? I've been in and out of the Matrix since I was in school. I raised some creds doing odd jobs, so I've got a hot new cyber deck that I'm itching to try on a real run. I don't know, man. We'd really like to find a long-term depper, and you don't know shit. You said so yourself, sorry. Oh, come on, you said it was a milk run. How else would a Shadowrunner start if not with an easy gig? I'm being upfront with you. Doesn't that count for something? Fine, I got a test for you. You hacked this guy, Captain Scone, and changed his password to erotic massage. I'm on it, thanks. Done. Am I in or what? Say yes, say yes. What the fuck? Amazu may introduce you to our rigger, Captain Scone. You'll make a fine addition to our team. Thank you. You won't regret this. You gotta stop getting people to hack me, Gimme. Or you're looking for a new rigger. Ah, you know that you love me. We don't have pay data for sale. I guess we will go see Kindly Cheng about this dude. Meet Kindly Cheng's friend.